I got to bring this up because I know we talked about it before. I know I mentioned to you, maybe you've seen it now, like Roger Waters is redoing Dark Side of the Moon. Right?
Yes, I saw a sneaky video that he put out of him sitting listening to it. So I saw that a couple of minutes long.
But he released Money. Money's out there now.
It's out. Oh right, okay. Yeah, I've got to take a note of that. Oh, dear.
And it sounds like Leonard Cohen covering Pink Floyd.
Yes. I had a feeling it might be. No. Oh, please, no. Leave it alone.
And where there used to be a guitar solo in Money, it's just him with more lyrics, more words. And but it's the thing I just keep telling myself is it's the original is still there. Like he can't ruin something that hasn't been taken away, But
but that's
I know
that doesn't. It's
fucked up.
It's not that he's ruining the original. He can't ruin the original. It's not that he's doing something with an album that he wrote a lot of. It's that he's not respecting the other guys.
Yeah.
He's not respecting what he had. I wrote a song about this and said, and in my song it's called "Don't Let Them Make You." It's called the song called "Pray for Rain," and it's about respecting what you had.
Yeah.
Leave it alone, Roger. For fuck's sake, you were in one of the greatest bands ever, and you were one of the main guys. Respect that and leave it the fuck alone. Stop complaining about everything.
Yeah.
He's complaining. I'm in absolute agreement with many of the political points that he makes. I'm not having a go at his politics at all. I just don't like the way he treats his legacy. He doesn't treat it. He treats it as if it was all some kind of mistake that needs to be corrected, or that it wasn't really, I could go on. The arguments he's had with Dave Gilmour over stupid bloody things, and it's just
it's hard to watch.
And I've come to like Dave Gilmour a lot more since I sort of was exposed to Roger's, what would you call it? Is it misanthropy or something? He's really got that. He gets the bit between his teeth and he doesn't give up. He's like as my wife would say, he's like a dog with a bone. Yeah, he is. But does he not realise that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, suppose you could say, you might ask, what gives you the right to mess up that album? Well, you have the rights to mess up that album. If anybody can, it's you. Okay, so fair enough. And, to be fair, I haven't heard it. I heard a couple of minutes of it in that sort of sneaky video that he put out. But I just don't like the whole idea.
No,
To me, it's a little bit like what the Zappa Family Trust have done to Frank's music. It's like, you got to respect it, because 100 years from now, when people look back, they won't know the difference between the album that was recorded in released in 1973 and the album that was released in 2023. 50 years is nothing to people from the future. Yeah. They're only going to see it as, they're going to go, why are there two versions of this? And then the story will have to be told.
It does seem that way, it could be because for me, I haven't encountered writer's block yet to that degree, so I don't feel like I have to continuously beat a dead horse, because he has, he's like, even The Wall, he hasn't gone and changed The Wall yet, but he's toured on The Wall so many times, and he's it's a thing he revisits constantly, and it does seem like he's, rather than try and continue to reinvent himself, he just keeps Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, The Wall, with a little bit of animals every once in a while, and it's I don't know, he's almost become like a parody of himself. But I agree with you on a lot of the points, and I can't stand him or Dave anymore. I've gone back and forth. I find if you want to get to like a discussion about reality and politics, I'd much rather talk to Roger than Dave any day. But they both seem like a couple of overgrown children that forget that they got $200 million in the bank and they're whining about the stupidest shit, and I know they're angry at each other over money right now too, because I think, as far as I understand, they had a publishing deal. They're going to sell their catalog for like $1 billion, and then Roger did a bunch of public like anger on Twitter or something, and then the deal fell through because they're like, you know what, anti-Semitic music isn't worth $1 billion. And it's like, there's nothing about this is anti-Semitic anywhere, but for some reason, like it's got the label now.
Jeebus.
But
yeah, it's so sad. It's so sad. It really is. I like you say, yeah. I'm sure you're right about Gilmour's politics, but yeah, it's like, oh God, why did they do these things? I don't know. I mean, that Live 8 thing that they did is one of the greatest moments of music for me when they got back together.
Yeah, I watched it live too. It was amazing. You couldn't have kept me from the TV.
Yeah, it was like everybody was waiting for it, and it was like there. And I've gone back to watch it several times. It's absolutely brilliant. But you can see that there's that kind of tension between them.
Yeah,
you know, it's a palpable on the stage. You know, Gilmour's not looking at him, and you know, they're kind of Gilmour's Roger Waters, is trying a bit too hard at times to sort of inject himself. He's singing along with the lyrics that he's not singing, as if to make the point. Well, if Dave wasn't here, I could sing these. Yeah, we know that. We all know that. You don't have to actually mouth them along with him. Yeah. That's the only thing. But yeah, what a great moment that was. And you thought, well, that's great. A great way to sort of put a full stop to it and move on. Oh no.
No, and I've, because I'm a big Floyd head, I've watched that relationship ebb and flow, you know, like, and hoping it would somehow mend itself. Like, you know, like I remember watching a documentary about the making of, I think it was On an Island, the David Gilmour album. And it was also a tour documentary. And at one point he was rehearsing in the same like rehearsal area that Roger was rehearsing for his tour. And they found themselves in the same parking lot together. And Roger came up very like happy, big smile on his face, like he was like excited that he'd run into Dave, and Dave like wouldn't even shake his hand, you know. And it was just like, and I'm going like you guys at this point, they were like early 60s, maybe late 50s. I'm going like, you don't even want to shake the guy's hand, like, you know, like without each other, you're nothing. Like, why can't they realize the fact that we wouldn't know either one of those guys' names if it wasn't for each other? I mean, there's a possibility Pink Floyd may have done shit without Dave Gilmour, and we may know who Roger Waters is, but Dave Gilmour is nothing without Roger Waters, I don't think, you know. I mean, he's a great musician on his own, but I mean, so are you, and so am I. I think we're better. I think you and I are both better musicians than Dave Gilmour, because, you know, Dave plays a pretty good guitar solo, but beyond that, he can't write lyrics. He's not a good songwriter for the most part, you know. But you know, so I think they don't seem to realize that, like, their egos are still so goddamn big they can't fit inside the same stadium, let alone the same room, you know. And it's
there's a wonderful moment in the In the Flesh tour where that's Roger Waters, and he's complaining about the fact that they're playing in a theatre which is half empty because Pink Floyd are playing in the stadium along the road.
Yeah, and
he's bitter about it, you know. Yeah, and I've seen that encounter in the car park, which is really, really quite awkward, you know. But I can kind of understand it. There's in my musical life, I haven't fallen out with many people, but there's one guy I can think of that I've fallen out with, and I'm not sure what I would do if I met him.
Yeah,
you know. So I can see that, you know. It's like there's a certain sort of sense of betrayal sometimes with these people. I think that, you know, they both know that. I think they both are sufficiently self-aware to know that what you were just talking about is probably the case. But could they ever just say that? How could they say that in front of a camera or to a microphone? Do you know what? I'd be nothing if it wasn't for the Pink Floyd albums. Would have sucked if it wasn't for Dave Gilmour.
Yeah.
And Dave Gilmour couldn't say, if Roger hadn't taken all the time to write all those fantastic lyrics and play those brilliant bass lines and fiddle about with the synthesizers and do all that kind of stuff, nobody would know who I am. No, they're not going to say that. They might say it. Well, it's getting too late. It's getting almost too late for them to say it. And Roger Waters shows no sign of that at all. I just wish someone would interview either of them and just put that to them and say, look, you changed the world. You certainly changed the world of music, but you changed the world as well.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's gonna be one of those things. It'll be just like the Beatles and other things. It'll kind of, there'll be question marks and all sorts of what ifs and whatevers, and it, you know,
That's right. Yeah.
All assholes. You know what? Nick Mason, he's the guy. I've seen every version, right? I've seen Dave Gilmour live. I've seen Roger Waters live. I've seen Nick Mason live. And Nick Mason's Saucer Full of Secrets, You should definitely check that out if you get a chance. That is a fantastic.
Yeah,
show.
I've done that. Yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I have checked that out. I've seen that. I've seen the videos on YouTube. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's the one. I think that might be why he did that. I mean, I haven't heard any interviews or anything with him about it, but that might be why he did that. You know, that this was because he's faithful to it. He honours it.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't try and change it. He plays it as it was and tries to make it as good as he can make it. Which I think Gilmour does to a certain extent. When he plays the Pink Floyd stuff, he does that. Roger Waters changes it up a bit. I've not got any problem with any of that.
No, they all do a good job of it.
Coming to do re-record.
Yeah,
that's something that somebody else does. That's something that Dream Theater or Tool or someone like that do their version.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not for you to do. Wait, you hear now? I'll probably listen to it and love it.
Well, you never know, right? I'm gonna listen to the whole thing when it comes out all the way through. I won't buy it. Unless it blows my mind, I will not pay for it. But I will listen to it, and I'm going to do my best to appreciate it and enjoy it and understand it, because I want to know, because that's the one thing I don't want to take away is that I think Roger Waters is a very brilliant person, and I hope the motivation isn't petty. Like, I have a feeling I'm hoping there's going to be a revelation or an epiphany that happens where I see why he wanted to do it. You know, I like that secret to be revealed in the creation of it. You know, like kind of, you know, and I'm probably giving it too much credit before it even happens. But you know, like
I'll keep my fingers crossed for you, mate. But I fear the worst.
Yeah, me too.
I fear the worst.
Me too. Me too.